So I've just crossed the border. Again, I'm now in no man's land. I'm out of Serbia. That is Serbia done. I've done it quicker. I've had to change the route today. We made a little bit of a navigation error. And basically here, there's a couple of ways you can go out of Serbia into Hungary, or you can come into Croatia and then go out of Croatia into Hungary. Basically go to Mohacs in Hungary. So we took a left. So I've gone to the border quicker. I've just left Milos. And yeah, time to say goodbye to Serbia. I mean, what a wonderful, magical place that has been for me. I feel like when I entered the country, I was tense, nervous. You know, I was kind of fearful. I remember sitting in Negotin and telling my wife on the phone that if the run carried on with the dogs this way, that I was done. You know, I was done feeling unsafe. And I leave Serbia feeling just spirits 100 times higher. I just feel great. Everybody has been so lovely. And I feel well looked after. Everyone's been open arms. It's been beautiful to run. And I'm sad to leave, actually. You know, so when you're on this journey, there's a feeling that you want to get. And this is the first time I felt like I want to go back, or I wanted to stay. You know, Igor, Milos, Mira, so many people to thank from Serbia who've opened up their homes and given me food and just given me the most kind and generous welcome. It's just been incredible, and you know, it makes me feel a little bit emotional about, you know, the way that everybody has treated me. And this journey doesn't happen without the kindness of those people. I'm not doing this on my own. You know, it's not just me. I need all of that. And so I leave happy, but with a tint of sadness, because it's been magical. Let's just hope that it continues further up the river and that other countries can, you know, follow that example, because Serbia, you know how to treat strangers. Congratulations. So we're on day 35. Today is a big day. I'm doing a border crossing. I'm going to do 2 border crossings today because we've taken a little bit of a wrong turn. I'm also doing this intro from on the road. I'm already 5 miles in. Took a wrong turn. Basically, you can cross into Hungary from Croatia or Serbia. We have ended up going back via Croatia, so I'll get a little bit of extra Croatia bonus. It also means that I'm back up on a bridge across the River Danube, which is, as you all know by now, my happy place. And today's run, I just feel very relaxed. I feel good. I was so well looked after by Milos yesterday and over the last couple of days, and he ran me to this border. And he's just, I leave Serbia feeling kind of full of hope and happiness and just gratitude for all the kindness that people have shown me. And today we're also going to mark another milestone. Not only do we tick off 4 countries, finish 4 of the 8 countries, but I did some calculation last night, and it'll be where we crossed the halfway point in terms of the overall mileage, I think. So we'll have done over 900 miles, and we'll make it about halfway. I'd count total up. If I stick to the routes, what I've got left in it was about 950. So today we'll take a chunk out of that, and we'll have less to go than we've run, which is a very, very special moment. I'm not going to lie, I'm sad to leave Serbia. It's been absolutely incredible. I just hope that the rest of the journey can match that, because it's been spectacular in so many ways. But I feel strong, the body now feels strong, recuperated. I've got about 20 miles ahead of me today to get into Hungary. Most of that's now going to be through Croatia. And I'm kind of starting with this. And it's very, very special indeed. So I better go and get on with it. So I'm now 18 miles in. I'm just coming up now to the Croatian-Hungarian border. Going to wander through. That will complete 4 countries in this run, 4 of the 8, into my 5th country, Hungary. Little unexpected trip back into Croatia done. It was pretty nice, that, same as the other day. Really nice roads to run on, quite nice scenery, got very friendly flies. But yeah, we are now heading into new territory, over to Hungary, firmly in the EU now, and yeah, going to need to get some new cash out. Time to get some forints, I think. But yeah, let's see if they let us in. So I'm now in Hungary. I've made it across. We're on our way to Mohacs and successfully across the border. So day 35 is done, and it was a big day today for many reasons. We ran 3 countries in a single day. So we started in Serbia, we went into Croatia, and we crossed over finally into Hungary. We completed 4 of the 8 countries. So Serbia and Croatia, Romania and Bulgaria now are all done. That leaves Hungary, Slovakia, Austria and Germany left to run. We also, I think if my calculations are right, also went past the halfway point in terms of overall distance that I need to cover. So yeah, I think we're now closer to home or the finish than we are to the start. So that's another kind of big milestone ticked off. Now in Hungary, in a place called Mohacs, it's a lovely little town. It's got the Danube behind me here, the ferry over here, which is where tomorrow at some point I'll have to jump on that thing and cross over the river to head up, start making my way up towards Budapest. Now, I think, you know, as I do, I'll sort of give you a quick body update. Everything is feeling pretty good now. I mean, during the run, there's always a few little things, you know, a couple of bits in my sort of lower Achilles on both sides. Grumbled a little bit, but you managed that and they went away. My feet a little bit tired. They're always going to be tired, I think, until I finish this. The tendon problem that I had before is gone, which is great. And I feel, I have to say it without jinxing it, I feel physically strong. I've said this a few times on these videos, but today I looked down my watch, and basically what I do when I go out, I walk the first mile and then I ease my kind of legs loose, and then I will start to run. But I start very gingerly. I've slowly, you know, it's very slow and steady. And then I just sort of see how I settle into a pace. I don't really look at a watch. I just see how the body feels. You know, I check in with all of the various parts, the tendons, the bones, the ligaments, the muscles, you know, see how they feel. And then basically by mile 3 or 4, I'll sort of know what my pace is, and I'll know how, you know, running on feel, what feels good. In terms of cardiovascular, you know, I'm never really getting out of 130 heartbeat per 130, you know, 130 beats per minute. So, you know, I'm not pushing myself in terms of overall cardio. And so I can settle into this kind of rhythm as long as the body feels right and it feels like I'm not putting too much strain through it. I just settle into a rhythm. And what I've noticed in these last few days is that that rhythm, that pace has now been kicked up a notch. So I'm starting to see more naturally sort of being below 8 minutes all the time. So like 750s, which with 10Ks on the pack or whatever, 8 to 10Ks, maybe more, it's just, it's incredible to see it. You know, I can't sustain that all the way through. Like today towards the end, that dropped off and I naturally lost pace. Again, just running on feel. I knew when I had to kind of ease back a bit, and I did. Often that coincides when it gets a bit hotter. But I feel strong. I feel like I'm getting fitter and stronger as I move through it. And that wasn't something that I was expecting with this. I expected by now to be having to really drag the miles out and to be dealing with some sort of serious problems, and thus far I've been very lucky that hasn't happened, so I feel very blessed about that, and long may it continue, really. If that's the way that this goes for the rest of the run, I'll feel confident. But these things can change in a heartbeat. One footstep wrong, 1 minute everything's fine, next minute things have decided to grumble and go bad. So I'm not taking anything for granted. I'm doing all the right things. I'm eating all the right food. I'm stocking up and getting lots of calories in. I had an opportunity to weigh myself actually back with Milos at his family home, and I'm now down to I think about sort of 77.7 kilos. I started this at 78.8, so I've lost a kilo, which is nothing really when you think about it. And yeah, that's great. That means that I'm actually maintaining my fueling right. I'm putting in enough calories to keep the body. I'm not sort of burning through loads of weight, so that's also a good thing. The mind is strong. I feel like I've got the tools to take down distances of the marathon up to 30 miles and maybe even further now. I feel a bit fresher mentally at the moment, so I feel like I might have the power to go longer. That's also a good thing. So today's run went really well, actually. We had a moment, and God love him, Milos, I think, is probably still feeling bad about this, but if you're watching this, Milos, don't feel bad, because actually I think what happened was for the best. But we were going from Bezdan. Milos's dad and mum got up really early, made me breakfast, and then his dad drove me and him back to our start point, about 15 k's, which again, it's just a wonderful, when you're starting the day like that with people doing that for you, you've got one thing on your mind, and that's finishing that day and almost kind of dedicating it to them for their efforts. But what happened, for some reason we took a wrong turn, and there's basically 2 ways you can cross into Hungary. You can go straight up almost from Serbia into Hungary, or you can take a left and cut into Croatia and then go into Hungary through sort of Croatia. We ended up by accident going to the Croatian border. That wasn't the plan. We were supposed to go through the Serbian border. But as it happens, it turned out, I think, way for the better. Firstly, it meant I got to go to 3 countries today, which is the first time I've ever done that, run 3 countries. Secondly, I got to spend some of the Croatian money that I hadn't spent before, so that was used up on water and bits and pieces. The other thing is that I would have had to wait for this ferry behind me to get into Mohacs. I'd come over this way and then go back again tomorrow morning. Because I ran in a different way, I've only have to do the ferry once, so there's no waiting around for that. Yeah, and essentially the route was pretty much the same distance. I had a great kind of final stretch into Mohacs, again looking at the cycle paths from the outside sort of outskirts of the town, which I'm seeing more and more of that, and I love it because it makes getting into the town really easy. It meant I got to run a little bit less with Milos, which was a shame, but these things are funny because it just worked out actually really perfectly. It was probably a better route than the one that I had planned, so yeah, it's all good. And and as for Milos, what a legend. I just I've said it already yesterday, but for somebody of 17 to have just have the character to contact me. He read a post on a Serbian running Instagram feed, saw what I was doing, and came out and helped. And at that age, I'm not sure I would have really even been anywhere near that kind of mindset of going out and running 20 miles to help a 44-year-old bloke from England. So fair play to Milos. He's done really well. He's got a big race coming up as well in the mountains, and I hope he does really well for that. I think he's got the mentality for it, and I'm convinced that, well, I've trying to talk him into coming over to the UK to do something, maybe like we'll do the 3 Peaks challenge or something together at a future date. But yeah, it's all good. I mean, today is all good. I've had some lovely goulash, I've had some kind of noodles, chicken soup, and I've got a nice place to stay. I'm going to go and get some more stuff to eat because it's like an eating contest for me out here. And I'm thoroughly enjoying this journey, and that is a happy place to be, because there have been moments when I haven't, but it's sort of slowly I've gotten to this place where I'm in a really good rhythm. I'm finding good people, I'm visiting good places, and it's an adventure that I feared might be 95% struggle and 5% sort of fun or, you know, enjoyment. And actually, one thing that started to sort of struck me today when I realised I was over halfway was just how much I'm enjoying it. And that I might not want it to stop when I go back to real life. There's gonna be, I will, you know, I'll almost certainly want it to stop, but for some reasons. But there's many reasons that I think I could go on like this for a long time if there was the money and the time and no commitments. It's, yeah, it's good. It is a bit. There is a bit of repetition. There's a bit of Groundhog Day, and maybe I'd do shorter miles, but. Yeah, and maybe in a day's time I won't be sitting here with a big smile on my face saying I'm loving it, but right now I am, so I'll take it. And anyway, I better get off to the supermarket and see if I can rustle up some kind of yogurt drink and some crisps or something. But I will report to you tomorrow. We will start heading towards Budapest. We've got about 5 or 6 days to cross Hungary. I've got about 3 or 4 days, I think, before my friend Adam comes to join me to run for 4 days. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's my next big kind of goal, Budapest. And then after Budapest, Adam comes. So I've got lots of things to look forward to. And yeah, I think that's the other thing about this. I'm starting to really be grateful for the small things, you know, looking for things to be grateful for every day and latching onto those it's just such a better way to do it. You know, Milos and I were even talking about when the trucks go past you when you're running along the road and it's hot and there's a big gust of sort of wind that comes with them that cools you down. It's like every single bad thing that you encounter, there is a little bit of good that comes with it, and that is kind of how I'm trying to approach. Is just dig into all the positives in what I'm doing. So yeah, and it seems to be working, so I will just carry on. But anyway,